Hello, I'm Roshan, recording experiment 5 of Technology Lab. This experiment is about JavaScript. So the first question is asking us to create a function name, a function to find the longest word in a sentence. So this is how I did it. So this is the name of my function. So I take a string as an input, and I split it using the split function based on the spaces. Once I split it, I store it in an array, and I traverse to the array and compare each word with one another. To traverse through the array, I use the for loop. Then after traversing, I store the largest word inside the temporary variable. Now I display it. This is how the function is invoked. You just type the name of the function and the parameter to be passed, or the sentence you are passing. So when I run the program, it shows that the longest word in the string I provided is the Web Technology Lab experiment, and in that string the longest word is technology. Now the second question is asking us to create a BMI calculator, that is body mass index calculator. This is a formula for finding the body mass index, and once you find the body mass index, you're supposed to categorize that person based on this criteria. Now let's see how I did it. First I created two text fields. Now in the text fields you take the weight and height as input. So here is the HTML code. The ID of the text fields are weight and height. So using the get element by ID function, I get the values out of this text fields and convert the float and store it into variables. Then I compute the BMI using the formula. Then using if else if ladder, compare them and find what kind of person they are, and instead of and they display the result and the type inside two spans with an ID score and type, and use the get element by ID dot inner HTML to display something inside an HTML code. If you can see, when I type some inputs, I get an output. It says what is my body mass index and what type of person I am. Now the third question is asking us to create a flower garden. Now in this you need two images, and user will input, you're supposed to display the two images with the equal possibility of generating any one of them at the same at a time, and you're supposed to display them in rows and columns, and the user is supposed to input how many rows and how many columns. So you again have two text fields, so to input the rows and columns. And in the code, first you get the values entered using the get element by ID functions. Now using a nested loop, I display the images in rows and columns. To randomly select what image, I use the random function. So it selects a number, it generates 0 or 1, and 0 1 as the index of the name of the images, and using this I change the source of the image and display them. You can see if I enter the number of rows as 3 and 10, this is the output I get. This is a then the next question is to create a weightinator. Okay, it is to convert a weight from kg to pounds. So this is the conversion mechanism, constants. So let's see the code first. In HTML part, if you look inside the table, first you need to enter some value to convert it. So if I am entering 10 here, and you have to choose the units. If it's kg and you need to convert it to pound, just press calculate. The result will be displayed on the side. So let's see how it is done. First you get the entered data, what was the value entered. Then you need to find from what unit to which unit you are converting it. So The from is the name of the ID of the first select uh, drop down list. Then 2 is the ID of the second drop down list. Now you find the selected index value, and using the selected index value you find the value on it. So then you use it to compare and find like from what unit to the from kilogram to pound, or from pound to kilogram, what the conversion is about. Then you use the formulas using a Felsef ladder, and once you find the result, you display it inside HTML using the inner HTML command, along with the get element by ID function. So that is question 4. And in question 5 you're supposed to do a mock of a coin flip experiment. Now here again you have two images. One is that of a head of heads of a coin, and then the tails of a coin. Now based on a random function you decide if it's a head or a tail. But this is the image. Now once I click the button which is flip, you can see the number of heads and tails changes. So let's see how this is done. In the okay, this is the name of the function I used. It's called flip function. So I added an event listener. So once I click on the button, so name of the ID of the button is flip. Now once I click on the button, this function will be automatically revoked. So I use a random function to assign a number 0 or 1 to n. So if the number is 0, I generate the source of the image is head. Then if the number is 1, the source of image is tails. Now you need to count the number of heads and number of tails. For that I declare two variables globally, and each time the function is invoked and the if part, when the if turns true, this part will be run and the number of heads will be incremented, and if it is not a head, then this part will run will be executed and the number of tails will be incremented, and that will be displayed here. Now the next question is asking us to compute the bill after ordering a pizza. So there are three types of pizza. One is small, medium and large, and there are different prices for each. And once you find the price of the pizza, you need to find the tax, that is 9% of the total. Now from this you need to get how you need to ask the user how much tip he or she wants to give, and you need to get that from a radio button. So to implement that, yeah, first you need to find out, this is the HTML part where you have 3 radio buttons, and the ID of the radio the name of the radio buttons is tip, and they are not given any ID. By default the tip is 15%. Now on the code, you find out what is the value, like how many like small, large or medium pizzas are ordered. Once you find it, you compute it using the formula and directly display it in the inner HTML of the division with the price ID. Now this is how I did it. So number of pizzas, I enter some number of pizzas and choose a tip. Now when I click calculate order, the total bill is displayed. That is all. Thank you.